Hello, everyone. I am Dr. Mona Vand, a pharmacist and wellness educator. Over the years, I have helped thousands of people understand the connection between what we eat and how our bodies feel. And today, I want to bring something very important to your attention. Have you ever felt a strange tingling in your feet, or maybe a sense of heaviness, numbness, or even swelling at the end of the day? These may seem like small discomforts, but what if I told you that certain foods, including some vegetables you believe are healthy, might be making things worse? That is exactly what we are going to explore together. There are foods that may seem perfectly innocent, foods you may be eating regularly, thinking you are supporting your health. But for some people, especially those dealing with circulation problems or nerve sensitivity, these foods could be contributing to numbness, tingling, and even long-term damage to the nerves in your feet. Today, I'm going to walk you through the science behind this, the warning signs to look for, and the 3 vegetables you may need to limit or avoid. And I will do it with compassion, clarity, and hope. So let's begin. Part 1. Hidden triggers. How everyday foods may be harming your feet. Let me ask you something. Have you ever finished a meal and noticed your feet felt heavier than usual? Maybe a dull ache. Maybe tingling that runs along your toes. Maybe just a strange sensation that is hard to describe. If so, you're not alone. What many people don't realize is that certain foods, including ones we consider safe and even healthy, can silently impact the way our blood flows and how our nerves respond. Over time, these effects may lead to more serious symptoms, like chronic foot numbness, swelling, or neuropathy. As a wellness pharmacist, I spend a lot of time helping people connect the dots between their diet and their symptoms. And today, I want to walk you through some of the most common food triggers for poor foot circulation and nerve discomfort. Let's begin with one of the biggest offenders, processed meats, like bacon. Now, I know how satisfying a crispy piece of bacon can be, but here's what's happening beneath the surface. Bacon is loaded with sodium and saturated fats. This combination leads to fluid retention, higher blood pressure, and clogged arteries. And when your arteries are clogged, circulation to the feet gets weaker. Imagine trying to water your garden with a bent hose. That's what happens inside your blood vessels. When blood flow is compromised, your nerves start to suffer. They become inflamed, less responsive, and more prone to sending out signals like tingling or burning. And it is not just bacon. Hamburgers, especially the frozen pre-packaged ones, are packed with trans fats, sodium, and preservatives. These ingredients cause chronic inflammation throughout the body. And inflammation is the enemy of healthy blood flow. It makes your blood thicker, your vessels narrower, and your nerves more vulnerable. Then we have frozen pizza. It is convenient and tasty, but it comes with a cost. High levels of sodium and chemical additives can contribute to fluid buildup, raising pressure in your lower legs and feet. The dough and cheese often contain saturated fats that raise bad cholesterol, further damaging your circulation. You may have noticed a pattern here. These processed, salty, and fatty foods make your blood vessels work harder. They increase swelling and reduce oxygen flow to the nerves in your extremities. And when nerves don't get enough oxygen, they start to misfire. That's when you feel the buzzing, tingling, or numbness that so many people silently live with. Even something as simple as instant soup can become a trigger. A single packet often contains more sodium than your body should get in an entire day. And what happens when sodium levels spike? Your body holds on to water, which puts pressure on blood vessels and makes it harder for blood to reach your feet. Now, what about sweets? Ready-made cake mixes, processed candies, and sugary snacks flood your bloodstream with glucose. That sugar damages your nerves directly and also leads to blood vessel damage. It is a double hit. High blood sugar harms your circulation, and it harms the nerves those vessels are supposed to support. French fries, ice cream, soda, beer. These may feel like everyday pleasures, but they can do real harm if consumed too often, especially if you are already experiencing signs of poor circulation. This doesn't mean you can never enjoy these foods, but it does mean that moderation and awareness are key. You have the power to protect your nerves and reduce foot discomfort just by making smarter choices each day. And now we are getting closer to the real surprise in this conversation. Because even if you are avoiding all these processed foods, you might still be struggling with numbness in your feet, and the reason could be hiding in your produce drawer. That's right. Some vegetables, the very foods we have always considered healthy, may actually be making your symptoms worse if you are sensitive to certain compounds or managing circulation issues. In the next part, I will walk you through the first of 3 common vegetables that could be quietly contributing to your foot numbness. Part 2, spinach. Healthy for some, risky for others, spinach. It is a powerhouse of nutrients, rich in iron, fiber, and essential vitamins. Most people see it as one of the healthiest foods on the planet. And yes, for many people, spinach supports energy, bone strength, and immune function. But here is something I need you to know. For certain individuals, especially those who are prone to circulation issues or experience numbness in their feet, spinach may actually cause more harm than good, especially when eaten in large amounts. Let me explain why. Spinach contains high levels of a natural compound called oxalates. These compounds are not harmful for everyone. But in sensitive individuals, oxalates can bind to calcium in the body and form small crystals. These crystals can accumulate in tissues, impair circulation, and even lead to swelling and discomfort in the extremities. Think of your bloodstream as a smooth flowing river. When oxalate crystals start forming, it's like throwing pebbles into that river. They disrupt the flow, add pressure, and reduce the delivery of oxygen and nutrients to your nerves, especially the ones in your feet. Over time, this may lead to that familiar tingling, that dull numbness, or the sensation of pins and needles in your toes. If you have ever felt swelling or tightness in your feet after eating a large salad filled with raw spinach, your body might be trying to tell you something. It might not be processing oxalates efficiently. And this matters more if you already have compromised circulation, are prone to fluid retention, or are dealing with nerve sensitivity. There's another layer to consider. Spinach is very high in vitamin K. Now, vitamin K is essential for bone health and blood clotting. But if you are taking anticoagulant medications, also known as blood thinners, vitamin K can interfere with how these drugs work. That can increase the risk of unwanted clotting and affect blood flow to the feet and legs. This is especially important for older adults who are on medications like warfarin or similar drugs. Eating too much spinach may reduce the medication's effectiveness, making circulation even worse and increasing the sensation of numbness or pressure in the feet. Now let's be clear, I am not saying spinach is bad. It is not. But like many powerful foods, it requires balance. And for people with certain health conditions, it needs to be managed carefully. The good news is that you do not have to give up spinach completely. Cooking spinach, steaming, or lightly sautéing it significantly reduces its oxalate content. So if you love spinach, opt for cooked over raw and keep the portions moderate. And remember, variety is your friend. You don't have to rely on spinach as your only source of greens. Rotate with other vegetables that are lower in oxalates and vitamin K like romaine, arugula, or zucchini. That way you get the nutritional benefits without overwhelming your body. Pay attention to your body. If you start to feel bloated, heavy, or numb after certain meals, take note. These subtle signs matter, and small adjustments can make a big difference in how you feel every day. In the next part, I will walk you through the second surprising vegetable, one that is found in almost every healthy kitchen. And yet, when eaten too frequently, it may quietly disrupt circulation and increase foot numbness, especially in people over 50. Part 3. Broccoli, a green giant with hidden risks for circulation. Broccoli is often praised as one of the healthiest vegetables you can eat. And in many ways, it is. It is rich in fiber, packed with vitamins like C and K, and filled with antioxidants that support immune health and fight inflammation. But just like spinach, broccoli has another side, especially for those who struggle with tingling, swelling, or numbness in their feet. Let's talk about why. Broccoli is very high in vitamin K, just like spinach. This can be a concern for people taking blood thinners. If you are on anticoagulant medication to manage clotting or prevent strokes, eating too much broccoli can interfere with your medication. That can increase the risk of poor circulation, which in turn makes foot numbness more frequent and more intense. Remember, your blood needs to move freely through the small vessels in your legs and feet. If clotting happens too easily, or if your blood thickens because of an imbalance, oxygen cannot reach your nerves. And when nerves are deprived of oxygen, they start to misfire. That's when you feel burning, tingling, or a deep numbness that seems to come out of nowhere. There's another reason broccoli may cause problems for some people. Broccoli belongs to a family of vegetables called cruciferous vegetables. This group includes cauliflower, cabbage, and kale. They all contain natural compounds called goitrogens, which can interfere with the thyroid gland when eaten in large quantities. Why does this matter? Because your thyroid controls your metabolism and has a strong influence on your circulation. When your thyroid is out of balance, your blood flow can become slower, your energy drops, and you may begin to retain more fluid. That swelling, especially in the lower legs and feet, can put pressure on your peripheral nerves and lead to more numbness. If you are already feeling heavy in your legs or dealing with foot discomfort after eating large portions of broccoli or other cruciferous vegetables, your body might be signaling that it is having trouble processing these compounds. Now let's talk about preparation and portion. The way broccoli is cooked makes a difference. Steaming or lightly sautéing broccoli can reduce the goitrogen content, making it easier on your thyroid and better for overall digestion. And as with most things, moderation is key. You do not need to eliminate broccoli, but rather balance it with other vegetables. Try limiting your broccoli intake to a few times a week and combine it with ingredients that support circulation, like olive oil, garlic, or lemon juice. These not only add flavor, but also help relax blood vessels and support healthy blood flow. Another thing to consider is variety. Mix in other greens and colorful vegetables like bell peppers, cucumbers, or carrots. Each vegetable brings different nutrients, and when you rotate your choices, you avoid building up too much of one compound, like vitamin K or goitrogens. So here's the takeaway. Broccoli is not bad, but it is not for everyone, every day, in large portions, especially not for people who are already managing poor circulation or symptoms like foot tingling and numbness. By listening to your body and adjusting how often and how much you eat, you can still enjoy the benefits of broccoli without experiencing the side effects. In the next part, we will look at the third and final vegetable on this list, one that many people view as ultra-nutritious. But under certain conditions, it may worsen nerve pain, increase swelling, and slow down your circulation even more. Part 4. Swiss chard, a colorful green that may complicate circulation. Swiss chard is a beautiful vegetable. Its vibrant green leaves and colorful stems make it one of the most eye-catching foods in the produce aisle. It is rich in vitamins A, C, and K. It contains essential minerals like potassium, magnesium, and calcium. On paper, it looks perfect. But here is the truth you may not have heard before. For people dealing with numbness, tingling, or swelling in the feet, Especially older adults or those with circulation problems, Swiss chard may not always be the best choice. And that is not because it is unhealthy, but because it can be too much of a good thing. Let me explain why. Like spinach, Swiss chard is very high in oxalates. These are natural compounds found in some plants that, when consumed in excess, can bind with calcium in your body and form tiny crystals. These oxalate crystals can disrupt circulation, increase fluid retention, and even irritate nerves, especially in your feet and lower legs. When blood flow slows down and your tissues begin to swell, it creates more pressure on your nerves. That pressure can lead to the exact symptoms we are trying to avoid: numbness, tingling, burning, and aching in the feet. If you have ever felt puffiness or tightness in your feet after a large serving of greens like Swiss chard or spinach, it might not be your imagination. Your body could be reacting to a buildup of oxalates that is making it harder for your kidneys to process fluid and for your blood to reach your extremities. Swiss chard also contains a significant amount of vitamin K, even more than spinach in some cases. As we discussed earlier, this matters a lot if you are taking blood-thinning medications. Too much vitamin K can interfere with how these medications work, potentially leading to increased clotting and reduced blood flow. And when blood flow to your feet is reduced, even slightly, it does not take long for numbness and tingling to return. There's also another layer to consider. Swiss chard contains compounds that may contribute to fluid retention in certain individuals, especially if it is eaten raw and in large quantities. When fluid builds up in your lower body, it increases the pressure on both veins and nerves. That pressure leads to discomfort, reduced sensitivity, and in some cases, more severe nerve-related complications. So what can you do? Just like with spinach and broccoli, the key is balance. You do not have to eliminate Swiss chard from your meals, but you do want to be mindful of how often and how much you eat it, especially if you have noticed a link between eating greens and feeling discomfort in your feet. Cooking Swiss chard reduces its oxalate content. A quick steam or sauté helps make it easier for your body to process, while still preserving most of its nutritional value. You can also combine it with other lower oxalate vegetables to reduce the load on your system. Another option is to rotate your greens more often. Instead of eating the same leafy vegetable every day, try alternating between Swiss chard, romaine, collard greens, and kale. This gives your body a wider range of nutrients without overwhelming it with a single compound. And most importantly, listen to your body. If you notice swelling, numbness, or tingling after meals that include large portions of Swiss chard or other leafy greens, make a note of it. Track what you eat and how you feel. Your symptoms may be giving you clues about what your body needs and what it needs less of. In our final section, I will wrap everything up with practical advice and a message of hope, especially for those of you who want to stay active, feel better, and take back control of your circulation and nerve health. Final part: empowering your feet, your health, and your choices. If you've made it this far, I want to thank you, not just for listening, but for caring about your health in such a meaningful way. Foot numbness, tingling, swelling. These are not just minor annoyances. They are signals, messages from your body asking you to pay attention, to adjust, and to take gentle, thoughtful action. Throughout this journey, we've uncovered some surprising truths. We talked about everyday foods like bacon, frozen pizza, and sugary snacks that can damage circulation. We explored 3 vegetables, spinach, broccoli, and Swiss chard, that although nutritious for many people, may quietly worsen foot symptoms in those with nerve or circulation issues. But here's the most important part. This is not about fear. This is about awareness. You do not need to eliminate every food we've discussed. Instead, you now have the knowledge to make smarter, more supportive choices. Choose cooked greens over raw when possible. Rotate your vegetables. Pay attention to how your body feels after certain meals. Balance your plate with healthy fats, lean protein, and fiber-rich options that promote smooth blood flow. And most of all, do not ignore what your feet are trying to tell you. You deserve to feel steady, strong, and comfortable in your body every single day. If you found this video helpful, please click the like button and tell me in the comments which vegetable surprised you the most. And don't forget to subscribe and turn on notifications so you never miss a video that could change your health for the better. Stay informed, stay empowered, and remember, taking care of your feet is a powerful step toward a happier, healthier life. I will see you in the next video.